AC, perhaps, but it's like getting warmer in the day, so I'm thinking it'll be okay. But later on tomorrow, it's looking even colder, and the next day, and then I'm going away, even when it's going to warm up, and then I won't be able to because I'll be on a ferry, all of this, etc. So we will see. So basically, I'm just trying to do the longer run again today and just see what happens, basically. So there's a time before, it's warm, but then it's going to get cold again, and it also gets dark. So I'm trying to get through this, so I didn't really have time to plan a new video. It's just more Am I the Assholes, just because it's easy to burn them up, etc. So sorry about that, but I think I have 3 videos I haven't posted yet, and then including the 2 I'm doing today, I have 5 total, so maybe I'll do like 1 more tomorrow or something, and then I think I'll have enough to do like 2 every week or something like that. Nothing crazy, but yeah. So, am I the asshole for refusing to sign my neighbour's use of yard waiver? So, last Thursday, my neighbours approached me, my wife, regarding use of yard waiver since they don't have the clearance to move excavators and bobcats to their backyard to build a pool. The waiver states they need 10 feet of clearance, 4 feet would be into our yard based on my measurements. They would repair the grass to its original state. I have an irrigation system and internet lines which run beneath the area which would be used. The neighbours were leaving for Florida and asked for a 48-hour turnaround. I spoke to the pool company on Friday and the PM said they needed 10 to 12 feet. That they need the waiver because there's a good chance the ground will be totally torn up. It was my wife's 30th birthday this weekend, so the situation was not top of my mind. My neighbours knocks on the door Saturday afternoon asking for a response. I kindly explained I'm not comfortable signing the current waiver, given the typos, lack of notarization, and ambiguities regarding repairs. He takes it personally and storms out of the house complaining about how much money he is going to lose. Today, the project manager from the pool company knocks on our door asking what they can do to resolve this. I told him I really don't want my yard torn up, but at a minimum a new waiver needs drafted, and I would consider it. He then says we have an electrical easement runs 1.5 feet into our yard in the exact spot he wants to use and would just call for access. I checked my plat design indeed to see there is not any easement running through the area they need. He leaves and the situation is still up in the air. Edit, thanks everyone for your input. I had to run the situation by many friends and colleagues, and the answers were consistently no unless you can get outrageous stipulations. Even so, it's still a risk. At the end of the day, I don't want to be dealing with the pool contractor or neighbour to return my yard and irrigation to its original state. I'm not the asshole, but in a pool is not some kind of emergency. They have the luxury of time to do their research before and didn't. You don't owe them the risk of destroying your property and putting your lines from different services at risk. They can go swimming. The nail in the coffin was a lie about the easement. Project manager said the neighbours have known about this for months and just forgot to bring it over to us until he reminded them. They do have the other side of their house, but their driveway will be ruined and they still need a use of yard waiver from the other side neighbour. Sounds like they're getting a new driveway waiver signed from the other neighbours. Hopefully the other neighbour doesn't have lines running in the ground on that side. That would make it less risky. I can see why the project manager would be mad. The neighbour is delaying the project and wasting their time. That doesn't excuse his lies about the easement, unless the neighbour lied to him and he just believed it. So, yes. Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my seat on a plane so a boy could sit next to his father and tell the father to behave himself? I also tried to read this exchange before and I wasn't exactly sure, but we'll see. So basically, I, 29 male, boarded my short flight 70 minutes, which is a 2x2 seating arrangement. I had booked myself a window seat. When I got there, I saw a maybe 7-year-old boy sitting there next to his father, about 50 years old. The aisle seat, the opposite row, also had his mother and his sister sitting there. Although this happened less than 24 hours ago, I was exhausted, so I don't remember the conversation word for word. I'm pointing towards my seat, and the father asked me if I would mind swapping so they could sit together, and their seat is in the row behind. I said that I would only swap if it is a window seat. He said it's an aisle seat. Then I said I wouldn't swap, and the following conversation happened. So do you want to sit next to my son? I don't care, I just want the window seat. Standing up and getting his son up. You are a very nice person. I mean, not a very nice person. It's none of your business and be polite. I am not referring to polite. I said something I don't remember and behave yourself. I just stood there looking at him, serious. I think he was trying to shame me initially, but he didn't respond. Anything else to that, his wife was watching this the whole time. When somebody in the row behind saw, he offered to swap and sat next to me, so they did eventually sit next to each other. For all I care, they could have had sat 20 rows apart or even booked a new flight. I had zero investment in this or their reasons. They can ask, I can say no, and that should be the end of it. I don't like the swap. I don't like how the swap happened before I approved it either. If they care that much, they can put their seats in advance like everyone else. I didn't have a good reason why I need the window seat except that I like it and I don't like the aisle seat. Lol. So not the asshole. If they wanted the seat, they should have booked it together. The same thing happened to me on the way home from Thanksgiving at my sister's on Amtrak. I like the window seat, so there's one. I sit there and I realize it's a little different because unless it's Amtrak business class, which you can reserve, it's first come, first served. It was an hour and a half train ride. This girl and her boyfriend board the train. I'm in my window seat and the aisle seat is empty. Also, the aisle seat next to my aisle seat was also empty, with the person next to them in the window. They could have sat aisle to aisle and still be next to each other. And the girlfriend said, excuse me, and if this isn't okay, it's fine. Would you mind find another seat so he and I can sit together? I probably said, no, I want to sit here. Jacqueline looked a little shocked. One of them sat next to me in the aisle, and the other one sat in the aisle across from us. The next stop, both people behind me got off, so the two of them quickly switched, grabbed those two, and were able to sit together. The boyfriend sat behind me and promptly kicked the back of my seat hard about 3 times. Gee, what happened to? If it's not okay, it's fine. I ignored him. I figured the absolute best way to retaliate was to not acknowledge his childishness, that he and his lady love had to sit less than a foot away from each other till the next stop. People are just jerks. When they don't get what they want, you did nothing wrong. You booked your seat, and just because he wanted it, it doesn't make him in the right. Yeah, so people are saying as well that I think I've read a few of these before, similar things with seats, and the grand thing seems to be if they wanted to sit next to the child, and it's usually when they do a child because they try to like guilt you into it, I think, but I guess the mentality is, they had the opportunity to book the seats together, usually, unless it was already taken by, usually it's just they don't want to pay more, I'll go on a holiday or whatever is already expensive enough. Paying for all the extras is really annoying because you see the one price, but then you're adding to it, like with the check-in luggage, everything, so you don't really want to pay to book for seats. I've never paid to book for seats because I don't care that much. I guess it's nice being in the window, but I kind of like being on the aisle, in all honesty, because then I can get out without having to say excuse me to everyone if I'm near the window, if there's 3 people or 2 people, other people. But then again, if someone else needs to go to the bathroom a lot, you have to keep getting up. But I don't know, last time I was in the aisle and I think I just fell asleep and it was fine. So yes, the only thing is that happened to me once where I was in the inner seat and the person was asleep the whole freaking time, and I actually knew them, and I was not rude enough to wake them up, so I didn't need to go that badly, and I would get my chance. When they went to the bathroom, I would go out, but then they'd spend so long there that the thing was, the seatbelt sign was on again. I was like, oh no, why? But yeah. So, the next thing is, I'm the asshole for ruining my family New Year's by refusing to join the fun because I didn't want to be the DD again. Hey Reddit, I, 26 female, need some serious perspective. I'm starting to think I might be the asshole, but I still feel like I'm the right. Lol. Every New Year's Eve, my family has a big party at my aunt and uncle's house every year without fail. I end up being the DD. Don't get me wrong, I love my family, but start to book me. It's been like this since I was 19, even before I was legally allowed to drink. So I don't drink much, maybe a glass of wine or beer, but I don't get plastered. I'm fine with driving people home if they need it. But for the past few years, everyone expects me not and not be responsible for getting anyone home. I even told my cousin, who usually gets really sloshed, that I wasn't driving this year, and she was fine with it. When I got to the party, it was the usual chaos. People were drinking, laughing, having a good time. I was enjoying myself, but around 11, my cousin came over and asked if I was ready to drive. No, I'm not driving tonight. I'm here to enjoy the party. She looked at me like I was crazy and said, "Come on, you always drive, don't be a B-word," which, like, WTF. I tried to explain calmly that I wasn't being a B-word and just that I wasn't going to be the chauffeur anymore. Then my aunt overheard and pulled me aside. She lectured me, saying, "We all agreed last year you'd be driving. You know how much we rely on you. Everyone else is too tipsy. And Uber is so unsafe. Just drive this one time for the family." I felt a ton of pressure for reviews. I told her I'm not the chauffeur and I wasn't going to do it again, just because no one else could figure out their own right. My aunt got upset, saying I was being selfish and we're family. She said I'm the only one who doesn't get too drunk, so it makes sense for me to help out. I told her I had already had 3 beers, so I wasn't even legally supposed to drive myself. So I said, too drunk, that's like, saying that you can drive after a drink, which I feel like you shouldn't, for sure. That's when I snapped. I told them it's not my job to be their DD every year just because I'm the only one who doesn't get blackout drunk. They need to figure out their own rides home. Then I got up and left. I felt bad walking out, but I didn't want to be a doormat anymore. I spent the rest of New Year's Eve at home watching Netflix and eating leftover pasta with my boyfriend. My family texted me, called me dramatic, selfish, and saying I ruined the night. Then I said I was being super sensitive and that everyone was disappointed in me. Everyone demand an apology out of me, and by the way, I got home perfectly safe by Uber. But anyways, Reddit, I'm the asshole. Because I was wondering, like, how did she get home then? You are not the asshole your family is close, but why didn't your boyfriend spend NYE with you? He's a nurse and had a shift that cut into the party. He could have potentially come, but he was exhausted and wanted to go straight home and take a shower while he waited for me to be back. Another reason I didn't want to be the DD. Didn't want to stay out too late because I wanted to see my boyfriend. I agree wholeheartedly with the Redditor who said you should spend New Year's Eve someplace else. What your auntie did to you was incredibly entitled and disrespectful. Clearly, you did not agree to be the driver. She and other drunk relatives decided that you would be the driver. Yeah, I'm thinking, like, at this stage, like, who even knows if they're inviting her because they want to spend time with her, or just because they want someone to drive them home, really? Like, what's the problem with the Uber? I guess it can be unsafe, but she doesn't want to drive either, and I guess she hadn't driven there because she didn't have her car, etc. But yeah, it just seems a bit like unfair, and yeah, I think they should rotate. Like, it's not like she should feel like she has to get super drunk to have an excuse not to drive like everyone else. She didn't accept this role upon herself, and if she's been doing it every year, she's probably done her fair share of years, and everyone else should take turns, etc. But yeah, I'm the asshole for not buying my girlfriend's kid's car. So my daughter is turning 16. I agreed to help her get a car. She asked for a little Honda Toyota that's good on gas. We set a budget of $3,000. If she wants something more expensive, then she needs to kick in the remainder. My girlfriend's 2 kids got upset because I won't buy them cars they want. One asked me for BMW i8, and the other requested a brand new truck. I told them they need to take it up with their mom and dad, and that they are the ones should be buying them a car. We aren't married and only been together 2.5 years. Their dad is pissed because I won't help out his kids, and girlfriend's pissed because I'm doing it for my kids but not hers. Girlfriend's sister and husband agree with them, saying I'm an asshole for treating her kids different. I don't think I'm the asshole, but instead I feel like I've got a gold digger family after what I work hard for. Forget to let the internet determine if I'm actually the asshole, or I should reconsider my stance on this subject. Yeah, it does seem not the asshole for sure, but it says not the asshole, but you pay for everything for your girlfriend and her kids. It sounds like maybe that's the case. Why do they feel so entitled? And her ex as well. They're all waving red flags here. You might need to reconsider the whole relationship. While you're willing to help your own daughter out with $3,000 towards a car, I don't understand why anyone else would come with their hands out expecting more money. I certainly wouldn't be paying for cars for anyone. You're not married. But then as well, I guess it depends on the price of the car, but cars are expensive. Like $3,000, I feel like $3,000 wouldn't get along with a car also seem to be asking for more expensive cars. Like, even if he was going to help, they would have to have the same budget, etc., which wouldn't cover the cars they want. Yeah. So I'm the asshole for not allowing a newborn at my birthday. So at our 30th birthday party is ladies only, and asking people not to bring significant others or kids. It's not going to be a rager, but I just want it to be a fun night. Just let loose a little, and lots of moms coming, laugh and have fun. A friend of mine just had a baby, really 1 month exactly, Dave party. Seems she thinks she should be able to bring her baby. However, I'm leaning towards sticking to my request of no children, which means she won't be able to come. From what I hear, she's upset and doesn't think this is fair, so she wants to bring her baby. Now, this may be selfish, but I know that bringing the baby will impact the vibes of the party. The focus will be on the baby instead of enjoying our time together. I know that's no one else there will be obviously be offended or anything like that. I too am a mom. If I was in her shoes, I would just not go and leave it at that. No big deal. If I'm being really honest, I want this day to be at the birthday, not her baby. I do feel guilty, but I'm a people pleaser, and also I want to add, if the roles are reversed, she would 100% ask people not to bring babies as well. She's actually done this in the past. I'd like to know, one, should I comply or stick to my no kids rule? Who wants to take their 4-week-old out to a 30th birthday? Being around drunk people when your baby doesn't have an immune system routine or pattern seems ridiculously stressful. Does she have a safe person, dad, parent, sibling she can leave the baby with for an hour or two? As a new mom, it might do her some good to get a small break away, not the asshole. Someone saying, yeah, I was waiting for the baby's immune system to be mentioned, and we're in the middle of cold and a flu season. And RSV and COVID and norovirus, all sorts of nasty germs that can literally kill a baby. Yeah, people are saying, yeah, and all the other moms that were also planning on like childcare, etc. She thinks she's excused because the baby is so young, but doesn't really seem like an excuse. Especially since if it wasn't her that had the new baby, it seems like she wouldn't grant others the same leniency. So am I the asshole for not admitting I couldn't understand what the nurse was saying during mammogram, so I just went in for the most awkward mammogram I've ever experienced. The nurse seemed to be getting frustrated with me for not understanding which way she wanted me to move. Part of the problem was that she did not use words like left, right, forward, backward, just a lot of move this way, which I struggled to interpret. She also had a very strong South African accent, i.e. different accent to mine. Her increasing frustration and insistence that I relax. I came in reasonably relaxed, but that was long gone by this stage. Of course, had the opposite effect, and then when she asked me to hold my breast out of the way, and I heard dress instead of breast, I nearly ended up in tears. When she gave up on community and kind of grabbed my hand to pull my breast back. I then tried to de-escalate the tense situation. I paused in the middle hard of hearing, and I had misheard her. She immediately became angry and said in a quite shouted voice, I should have told her this. She would have spoken in a slower and louder voice. I replied, it's not an easy thing to tell people, which seemed to anger her more. I should have said that her way of conveying instructions was also perhaps not as clear as she thought it was, but did not have the guts to say this. But now I was quite upset. All the while I was still standing at an awkward angle with one breast wedged in the machine and the other being held back by my hand and hers. I've never been diagnosed as hard of hearing. In fact, I had a hearing test during the past year. So my hearing is good. However, my children tell me I have a hearing problem and tend to think that they might be right, even though they are horrible mumblers. Anyway, I was shaking by the time I sat in my car and questioned how all that went so wrong and how I could have handled it better. Am I the asshole? Say not the asshole. I'm sorry you had such a difficult time. The clinicians are supposed to understand that people have all sorts of issues. Wait. All sorts of issues and situations they be dealing with. I feel for you, as I do have a hearing problem, severe anxiety, and a directional left-right dyslexia. I find it helpful to tell them of my problems right up front. That way they know I need their tolerance and understanding. It is confusing to know what they want us to do. Step right, left, right, arm up, turn feet, turn hips, do a handstand, look up, cross eyes, and hold your breath. I try to relax and tell them to just once a year. So next time I'd ask to speak to a supervisor or head person on duty. If you run into these problems, it's their responsibility to provide patient care, and they often drop the ball. It says, I'm mammogram giving us permission to gently move you. It's honestly the absolute best thing for all of us. So, am I the asshole for telling people I'm still going to drink at a bachelor party? So, a large group of friends and I are going to Toho for 3 nights for a bachelor party / guys trip. We haven't had one in over 2 years. Later this month and over the last week, drama is hit primarily by me. I'm 35 male, I have a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old. I'm using vacation time and bought a flight 4 months ago to go on this trip. I don't get out much nowadays with 2 kids. I thought a few days with the boys and let loose would be awesome. The groom proposed last spring and their wedding is this upcoming March. It was veiled this past week that his fiancée is 3 months pregnant. The whole group was shocked but congratulatory. She's going to be pregnant for her wedding. A little while later, the best man informed us the groom quit drinking when she got pregnant. While they might drink later on in life, it would mean no drinking at the bachelor party. In solidarity, the best man asked we don't drink also. The gist of what I said was, hell no, I spent a lot on this trip already. I'm borrowing future time off to go on this trip. My previous time off was used on my baby. I want to do stuff I'm going to enjoy. I understand that we were going for the groom, but I invested a lot of resources on the trip and I want to enjoy it. I want to sit at a blackjack table and suck down a half a dozen Coronas. If my funds last long enough, I'm still going to drink. If I need to get a hotel at Harvey's or Bally's, I will. I offered up a day and night to stay sober, but that was not taking well. Half the group agrees with, a few are indifferent, and a few are backing the groom's best man. The best man has led the charge in calling me an asshole and telling me I'm being a shitty friend. Am I the asshole? I'm going to say not the asshole because this was sprint. None of them look right to me. On you, after you had already booked everything, you might not have gone to the whole thing if you had known. And maybe it's cultural, but here being teetotal will be considered a personal choice they don't put on other people, especially in a setting like a casino where having a drink is completely acceptable. I can see not drinking if the groom was nearly in recovery. However, groom is not drinking in support of his pregnant fiancée, and people need to give up alcohol to support a single pregnant woman. Yeah, I get it, and like the woman's not even going to be there, right? It's a bachelor trip, and yeah, I was thinking it was alcohol problem by reading that. Originally just the title, etc. So my husband and I discussed this at one point in our lives. I always said that I'll be sober for 9 months to make the baby. He needs to be sober 9 months after the baby is born. I never understand why a guy should be sober for the pregnancy. Okay, so am I the asshole for calling my principal a hypocritical B-word? Today at school, a 17 female had a severe allergic reaction. The cause is still unknown, but my body was fully broken out in hives. My throat was closing up along with a swollen throat. Done. I was into the office where my vice principal, 30-ish male, was trying to comfort me because I was starting to panic. He called out for an EpiPen and I heard my principal, 40F-ish in the distance, laughing about it. To another teacher saying, this is so funny, why is she being so dramatic? Once an ambulance came and I was given an EpiPen shot, I called her hypocritical B-word. My way out to the ER, she constantly goes around the school preaching safety and kindness, but laughed when I was having a serious medical issue. Now she's upset and trying to get me in trouble, but the vice principal told me not to worry and just tell my side. This is my first time having an allergic reaction ever, so I was confused and panicky. Not the asshole, that's really scary. As a person who has bouts with anaphylaxia myself, I hope you understand that this isn't something that could kill you. So your reactions, whatever they were, should be excused. When your tongue and throat start to swell, it's terrifying, especially if you haven't had this happen before. Please get tested and try to think back about everything you consumed today because you're allergic to something that you came in contact with and it's a serious allergy. While calling the principal a B-word probably isn't going to go over well. You had a serious medical issue going on. I hope you reached out and let your parents, guardians know that they can back you up on this. I'm sending you all the healing wishes, OP. Anaphylaxia is deadly scary and you survived it. Okay, so thank you. I got referred to an allergist today at the hospital. I also got an EpiPen till they find out exactly what it is in case this happens again. I hope it doesn't go I hope it doesn't. It was really scary. Yeah, like maybe she didn't need to call her the B word, but especially since she does seem hypocritical, like if she's preaching about safety and all of that, and then when something serious actually happens, she's like not taking it seriously. So, am I the asshole for telling my best friend? If she wasn't always trying to get with my husband, her boyfriend wouldn't have left her. I, 27 female, have been best friends with Kira. 27 female. Since we were little, we are neighbours. We went to the same school, college, etc. She's my maid of honour when I married Rowan, 28 male, who we went to college with. At first, Kira had a big crush on him, but he started liking me. We slowly got closer, and I started liking him too. This was after Kira had told me she'd gotten over it and was dating another guy, but I still felt really guilty, and I didn't want to date him if it would hurt Kira. I asked her multiple times if she was okay with it. She said she was, so I thought it was fine. Kira's been with her latest boyfriend, Adam, 27 male, for a year or so. However, over the last few months, she's been acting strange around Rowan. Whenever we've been hanging out with the three of us, or even with Adam there, she's always find some way to sit next to Rowan, laugh at everything he said, etc. I don't think anything of it initially because I knew that was kind of her personality, and her and Rowan are friends. But then she started always asking me if Rowan was there before she came over, and if I said no, she'd often suddenly say she couldn't come. She would say that even if I said he was there. Rowan also told me about a comment she made to him once about how he was so patient for putting up with me being too tired to do anything with him now that I was pregnant, which I thought was weird. The odd behaviour continued, but to be honest, the pregnancy has been keeping me too exhausted to give it a lot more thought, and Rowan seemed as friendly with Kira as ever. As always, but 2 days ago, our mutual friend Shay threw a dinner party me and Rowan went, as did Kira and Adam. Kira got a bit tipsy and she kept trying to sit with Rowan and touch him. He excused himself a few times, but she kept finding him. I tried to get her off him a few times and I was getting mad because this was a new line she was crossing. She was slurring about how I stole Rowan from her. Thankfully, Adam was too busy talking to Shay as husband to hear this, but he definitely saw Kira's actions. The next afternoon, I was at Shay's again with some friends. When Kira showed up, she was crying about how Adam had broken up with her that day, saying he didn't think this was going to work out. Everyone was consoling her, but I was just kind of sitting there. I couldn't help but feel like she brought this upon herself. She asked me, "Aren't you going to say something?" So I said, maybe Adam wouldn't have left you if you weren't trying to get with Rowan all the time. Some of our friends were shocked to hear this, got mad at Kira. Some got angry with me, saying Kira was just really friendly with everyone. It was a horrible accusation to make. Kira was upset, saying she couldn't believe I thought that of her, and maybe we weren't that close. She left in tears and I left soon after too. Now I don't know, maybe I was wrong. Kira has been drinking at the dinner party and might not have meant what she said. Their stuff could have been nothing. And maybe this was too harsh to say to her after a breakup, and we could have talked privately, not in front of her friends. Am I the asshole? So it says not the asshole. Well, not entirely. Yes, it was kind of rude to just say that after she had been dumped, but she had been acting like this for a long time, to the point even Rowan was getting uncomfortable, but she still persisted. Getting drunk didn't help, and I bet Adam did hear what she said when she said you stole Rowan from her. She's clearly been jealous the whole time from my point of view. She's yet to move on, has only tried to get closer. Rowan also brought up that comment that she said that made both of you uncomfortable about being too tired to do anything. That's not a normal thing to say to your best friend's husband, even as a joke. That's messed up, not the asshole. I don't know what the rules are in a relationship, that they're probably different for every couple, but at a certain point, should he have just shut it down himself? Yes, but I could also understand why a person might not, because they wouldn't want to cause tension in their wife's friendship. It's not the asshole for what you said, but why are you keeping this person in your life? She's not your friend. She's been actively sexually harassing your husband, and you continue to keep bringing her around. Yeah. But, yeah. So, I'm the asshole for telling my sister not to donate her kidney to her uncle. Here's the context. My uncle Cass has type 1 diabetes. He lives a healthy lifestyle, but the disease is taking him. He is 55 years old. He is currently in the hospital undergoing dialysis, and he does not look good. Many of his friends tried, but were not donor matches of the family, which has been tested. Only my older sister is a match. She is undecided what to do and ask my thoughts. I am untested. I write what I said, basically. Just add, I told her. I write what I said, basically. Just add, I told her. I don't know what that means. No, you shouldn't. If you needed my kidney, questions asked, but do you think he'd give you his? He made it a point to stay away from the family his whole life. Every family reunion, he was like, ew, no, I'm not going. I don't want to be around those people. And now he comes. Has he ever even sent you or your kids a Christmas card? No. If something happens to you, do you think he's going to come by and help your kids out? No. She said she looked into the risks of donating a kidney, and apparently they aren't that high. I counted this saying they aren't that high if you stay healthy. I said, what if you get into a catastrophic car accident? What if you go through chemo? What if you get diabetes? My mom, Kaz's sister, thinks my reason is correct. My emotions are harsh. She says it's still his life, but it's your sister's life as well. I said he's not just taking from now, my sister. He's taken from everyone. He's taken a safety net from her 3 kids, one who's non-communicative, autistic, and will be with her for his whole life. He's taken away from me, who will be the one to step up if something happens. As of now, gives Kaz her kidney. That's fine. It's ultimately her choice, but I don't ever want to hear about anything about Kaz, how he's doing, where he goes, or anything like that. Don't speak of him around me because I don't want to be reminded of what he took from us. The asshole for telling my sister not to give her kidney, and 2, saying if she did, the person receiving it is basically dead to me. I want to add, when my grandmother had dementia, she was living with my aunt. My mum would go there for 1 month, 3 to 4 times a year to either help or give my aunt a break. My grandmother also lived with my mum on and off, but not nearly as much. Anyways, for the last 2 years of her life, this dementia period, living with my aunt was closer to 7 or 8 years. Kaz moved in with my aunt under the guise of helping out. He did not help out at all. He just lived there as free rent. Well, he did his own thing, even drew a big fuss when the time came for my grandmother to go into the nursing home. My aunt had to finally kick him out a year after my grandmother passed away. Yeah, so not the asshole. The uncle has nothing to do with your family, so your sister putting her health in danger to help basically a stranger. How will her autistic child handle his mum being laid up from surgery? That's going to be a huge change in his routine. I mean, if she really wanted to give him the kidney, she would. She probably is looking for a voice of reason to tell her it's okay not to do so. I've been through this recently. My sister-in-law is extremely selfish. She had a kidney transplant when she was 14. Doctor told her if you look after her, you can stretch it for 20 to 25 years. She basically went on a YOLO rager from 16 to 20. Smoking, drinking, sleeping about. Now she's 27. The kidney's on its way out with her liver. Her entire family simply expect my wife to donate hers despite her having chronic heart and thyroid issues. We also have a 2-year-old. I have told her that yes, it's her decision, but it will affect him. She has underlying health problems post-COVID. I don't want her to risk losing her and my son having to grow up without his mum to save a reckless sister. The sister still smokes and happily gets in the car when her boyfriend is stinking drunk. Yeah, so the last one for today, I believe. I'm the asshole because I don't want to go on a holiday with my wife. So I am male 43 and my wife is female 36. We did a caravan trip for 3 weeks. The idea being if we like to live in the caravan for that long, then we should do a bigger trip around Australia. So we are 4 days out from leaving. My partner became a nightmare, being super stressed and hard to deal with, even though I did most of the getting ready to leave stuff. No, she did plan the whole trip. From the outset, we started to fight as she was rubbing me the wrong way and trying to boss me around like hired help. We got to her mum's place as it was in the direction of her holiday, and her mum was like, "What is wrong with you?" to my wife. Anyway, the whole trip was kind of shit. We barely spoke. When we did, she didn't like that I called her on her bad behavior. We both just could not get along. I think for me, it was I did not realize I was just the hired help for the trip, so to speak. I thought it was my holiday too. Clear red flag for a bigger trip. But all my suggestions were knocked down, and some big ticket items I wanted to did not happen. So I'm the asshole because I don't want to go on the bigger trip around Australia because she was so difficult to deal with. I say this as she says she still wants to go and has worked 15 months to save for it, but I don't want to. I can't stand being around her so stressed all the time. It's supposed to be a holiday, damn it. Second, I'm the asshole. I also don't want to use my car to pull the caravan around Australia. It's a lot of chaos on the clock. No, it's her caravan, not mine, and she bought it without a car to tow it. I bought a car that could tow it. Note I had to sell my car, which I love to buy it. I know we're married, but our finances are completely separate, and I think I could be swayed on this, as in let her take it, but I'm pissed she acted like a twat that says she still wants to do the trip around Australia, and she's still doing it, even if I'm coming or not. Kudos to her. Then she will need my car. Remember, I am only not going because she acts like a crazy person when traveling. You guys have bigger marital problems than this trip. I was like, do they even like each other? but not the asshole, don't go. Tell her you did not enjoy the first trip and she was not a pleasant person to travel with. She can get as mad as she wants, but until she works on her attitude, just don't go. Yeah, everyone's like, everyone's shit here. Do you even like your wife? Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, she planned the whole trip. But then again, I don't know. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna do one last one. So, am I the asshole for calling my mom when my sister got evicted? I, 25 female, got a call from my little sister, 23 female. Yesterday it was late and she was asking if she and her boyfriend could come stay with me. I have a guest room, so you shouldn't mind at all. We're fairly close. It was 10 p.m, so I asked what was going on. She said they had just gotten an eviction notice a few weeks before Christmas and hadn't been able to find a new place, and today they got kicked out, so they're our boyfriend for getting a payment. Or a lot of payments, I'm not sure. They lived in a shady spot, so really I have no idea. We come from pretty substantial generational wealth. My parents are both rich and always have been. My mom decided that when we turn 23, we get kicked out and cut off so we can learn to stand on our own feet. Then when we turn 25, we get control of our trust funds. There's 3 of us total. I'm the oldest. It went well for me. It was a struggle, but I got settled and even rejected. My mom was offered to work for her company because I like where I am so much. All that to say, my sister is having a lot harder of a time. She wants to be an actor and she's just not getting roles. Her boyfriend is struggling actor too. They're really broke. Anyway, I told her to come over. And then I hung up and I'm usually calling mom. I told her what happened. She always told me that if things got too miserable, we could come home. My sister is too stubborn to ever accept that offer. Mom got to my place just after my sister and her BF. My sister called me a B word and I called her a brat. Mom basically dragged her kicking and screaming to the car and took her home. She's so in trouble, so I don't understand why she's so mad at me. She actually texted me to tell me that she's blocking my number and never calling me again. She called me a lot of names too, like spoiled and golden child. Apparently Dad is making her boyfriend sleep in another room. I don't know, I feel like this is all my fault and I failed her as a sister. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Here's the thing. Your sister and boyfriend have no quantifiable income, have been evicted for non-payment. There's no way they missed one payment with no money. How are they going to be able to find a new place? And they obviously have absolutely no money because they didn't even try to get a hotel for at least the night. Also, they knew they were getting evicted, but waited until 10 p.m. Then I have the eviction to call you. Evictions take time, so they definitely had time to figure out without calling at 10 p.m. the night of. Nothing about this adds up. If I knew I was getting evicted but couldn't find a place, I would absolutely not wait until 10 p.m. to call someone for a place to crash. If I had to let them stay with you, odds are they never would have left, and then you'd be stuck with people that would almost assuredly now have tenants' rights. It would be a nightmare getting them to leave. My sister is talking about that. She has too much of mom in her, Dad says. But yeah, either way, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.